Theresa May has prompted outrage by defending a Tory MP who skipped tonight's universal credit debate to run the line at Barcelona's Champions League match. Downing Street even suggested Douglas Ross's time was better spent at Camp Nou for the clash against Greek giants Olympiakos. He was listed as a linesman ahead of kickoff at 7:45 p.m., 45 minutes after the planned Commons vote. Labour branded Mr Ross's skiving completely unacceptable, and SNP MP John McNally brandished a red card in the Commons. Yet Theresa May provoked uproar by claiming Mr Ross's constituents in Moray, northeast Scotland, would be pleased he is seeing their interests in this House. Labour MP Paul Sweeney said Mr Ross doesn't even have the decency to turn up to explain why he backs the misery of universal credit. Mr Sweeney said, "The rollout of universal credit has blighted lives across the country, forcing many to rely on food banks and crisis grants to get by." Yet Mr Ross doesn't even have the decency to turn up to Parliament and explain why he supports putting people through such misery. The government could face a potentially embarrassing revolt on the motion, with reports suggesting up to 25 Tory MPs could be willing to rebel over concerns about claimants facing delays to get money under the system. But there were rumours Tory MPs would dodge the vote altogether and say it was not binding. A senior No 10 source told journalists, "On some of these debates, we may say to MPs, if you feel your time can better be spent elsewhere then." The source trailed off into silence, then hastily added, "What I should have said was, you will see Tory MPs who take an interest in this speaking in the debate and participating, and of course you will have ministers speaking from the dispatch box." Mr Ross has raked in £2,700 as an assistant referee since he was elected in June, including £1,436 for one Europa League playoff between NK Domzal and Marseille. A spokesman for the Scottish Conservatives said Mr Ross had held 50 surgeries and met Work and Pensions Secretary David Gauke personally. Barcelona celebrate Lionel Messi's debut anniversary by sharing footage of him as a youngster, and it's incredible. The spokesman added, "There will be many Scottish Conservative representatives in this debate. Despite what the SNP thinks, the people of Moray are right behind Douglas and his refereeing, as they showed decisively when they elected him as their MP just a few months ago."